Jack was an eccentric beekeeper. He rented a warehouse on the outskirts of town. His only neighbor was an elderly landlady. He showed no interest in the outside world. The only thing he cared about was the bees in his warehouse. The old lady lived alone as well. She took good care of Jack, even if she never said so directly. In his heart, Jack had already come to think of her as family. One day while she was working, a warning suddenly popped up on her computer. She called the data center using the number displayed. A man named John told her that her account had security risks that needed an upgrade. The trusting old lady didn't suspect anything. Following John's instructions, she downloaded and installed their newest software. But after she entered her bank password, her screen suddenly went black. When it came back on, the $2 million in her account had been withdrawn by the scammers. The scammers cheered and celebrated their big score, while tears welled up in the old lady's eyes, not knowing how she would survive. Jack was unaware of her tragic situation. He was bringing a jar of his homemade honey to let the old lady taste it. He knocked on her door for a long time with no answer. He assumed she had gone out, but when he heard the smoke alarm blaring from inside, Jack knew something was wrong. He burst into the house, first turning off the ceiling alarm, then grabbing a knife from the kitchen and carefully approaching her bedroom. When he reached the door, he saw a handgun lying on the floor. At that moment, a female officer appeared behind him. The old lady had already taken her own life. Jack was arrested by her daughter Lucy, who believed he was the killer. But soon after, Lucy's investigation of her mother's computer revealed the money in her account was completely gone, and she finally realized the true reason for her mother's death. After some time, Jack was released. There were no traces of gunpowder on his hands, and fingerprints on the gun proved his innocence. The next day, after calming down, Lucy came to Jack's warehouse to apologize. During their conversation, Jack learned that the old lady had been scammed out of her money. It was clear she had been a victim of fraud. After thinking it over, Jack asked Lucy if she knew who was behind it. She explained that it was a professional scam group, and even if they were caught, they could claim the money had been gifted willingly, making it nearly impossible to prosecute them. Hearing this, Jack grabbed the jar of honey from the table and stepped outside. He retrieved a satellite phone from a beehive and contacted the beekeeper's headquarters. The operator became serious upon hearing his voice. Jack explained why he was calling and asked the operator to locate the scammer's headquarters, what the police couldn't track down. The operator pinpointed by afternoon. Jack drove to the building with 2 cans of gasoline. As he approached the entrance, 2 guards tried to stop him. Jack's bold response amused the guards. Inside the scam center, he ordered everyone to stop working and promised never to scam people again. The smug scammers mocked him, laughing in his face. Seeing their arrogance, Jack said nothing more. He grabbed a scammer's hand and slammed it into his head repeatedly. The violent scene left everyone frozen with fear. Jack opened the gasoline and poured it out. Just then, John arrived with his men. Jack remained calm as they confronted him. Before they could attack, he kicked a chair into one of them, blocked their punches, used a phone cord to choke another, and sent him flying across the room. His punches made them scream, and with a flawless move, he knocked another scammer down. Seeing Jack's prowess, John panicked and stepped back. Jack took a gun from one scammer, swung him around, and kicked him 8 meters away. John stood frozen with fear. Jack spared him, not out of kindness, but to use him to find the mastermind. Only by dismantling the entire scam ring could Jack prevent anyone else from suffering the same fate as the old lady.